Malden, right? Okay.
So we're following the custom of Kriya. Kriya means carry. And then we wear now, women typically wear a black ribbon, and we say a blessing, we tear it, and it's a way of indicating that our hearts are torn when we've experienced the loss. And we usually wear it for either a week or for Shiva or some for 30 days. But at the end of the time of wearing it, you throw it away. It's a way of emphasizing that we don't want to multiply reminders of our loss. Okay? So I'm going to ask you to say the blessing after me. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
Dayan
Dayan
ha'emet.
ha'emet.
Means praise are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, the judge of truth. And so you may tear the ribbon. They usually are fairly easy from the bottom. You need help. And the people typically would not wear it on the bottom. So, tradition. So we will proceed now. I'm going to stand over here. And may I ask that you make sure that your cell phones are in the silent position so that we can read those present. You'll hear Shalom, Peabody, is formerly Temple Tisaret Israel, Malden, and Temple Beth Shalom. Death has taken your beloved Stanley. Our friends grieve in their darkened world, in their silence, their sadness. In their tears, there is loneliness. In their sorrow, may they find the presence of loving friends. Hear them, O God, be with them. For Stanley's love that united you in life and which death cannot sever. For his companionship that you shared on the path of life, and which will continue through the tenderness of memory. For the gift of his heart and mind that brought you joy and happiness, and is now a precious remembrance. For all these and more, we give our thanks to God. In this time of grief, we listen to our sacred scriptures, words of our poets and thinkers, to tell us of our kinship with our Creator in light and in darkness, in joys and sorrow, in life and in death. In the book of Psalms, happy are those who have not followed the counsel of the wicked, or taken the path of sinners. They are like a tree planted beside streams of water that yields its fruit in season, whose foliage never fades and whose fruit always flourishes. God, who may dwell in your house, who may abide in your holy mountain, those who are upright, who do justly, who speak the truth within their hearts, who do not slander others or wrong them or bring shame upon them, who scorn the lawless but honor those who revere God, who give their word and come what may, do not detract, who do not exploit others. Those who live in this way shall never be shaken. We read from the 23rd Psalm. We wish you could recite to me. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Amen.
Ecclesiastes from our Bible, Mohela. For everything there is a season, a time for every experience under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant, a time to uproot what is planted, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance, a time to throw stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to discard, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak. Let us now speak of your ears. My conversation with Beverly, I was so impressed to learn and qualities of a human being, good natured, generous, friendly nature, intelligent, beauty of his person. I'm going to share some of the beautiful remembrance that Beverly had sent to me after our talk, including some remarks by others she has spoken. But first, I'd like to reflect a bit on what I've learned of Stan. There is a Jewish legend that when the world was created, that God accidentally, if you might say, allowed sparks of divinity, sparks of holiness and light to penetrate into the very stuff of the earth, into matter itself. And according to this legend, mystical tradition, it is the task of human beings to repair the world, to engage in tikkun olam by releasing, revealing these sparks of light and holiness through our actions, through our work in the world. I have the sense that Stan performs this function, this mystical function, if you will, this healing of the world by virtue of his professional activities in material science, revealing beauty and meaning and purpose in the very stuff of earth, but also through his avocation, photography, revealing light, finding beauty around him, but even more importantly, the way he lived his life, confronting the harsh realities of his existence, and especially as he faced his illness over the many decades that he struggled. But finding a way to bring beauty to life, to reveal meaning, to find a sense of purpose in his relationships with his dear friends, his colleagues, finding inspiration, finding joy in his everyday life. He was a man of brilliance. He had an incredible memory that served him well, even to the end. As Beverly wrote, he was good-natured, generous, and friendly. He engineered an automatic feeder for Gail when her dog had to eat every 2 hours. Exemplary of his, so many of his wonderful qualities. Caring and patient are words that apply to him. He was always there for his friend, always eager to help. He was thinking of others all the time, even though he was entirely authorized and entitled to use a handicapped space, he would often avoid it because he wanted to leave it for others who might need it more than he. He did love his avocation of photography. He kept that up long as he possibly could. He loved to assemble with his friends, and I'm sure that many of you have fond memories of dinners at his home Saturday night, the annual Lottie party at Hanukkah, the movies, visits to the beach. He loved to be out and about. He loved to interact with children at the family gatherings. And he was athletic. In his youth, he played tennis and softball. He loved to ski. And in his professional life, there was great brilliance in his work. Solar panels. Again, that metaphor of light seems to pop up in many aspects of his life. He had a warm smile and sparkling eyes. He impressed people all throughout his life with his kindness. Even the staff at Spalding, where unfortunately he was stuck during the pandemic for his last years, he managed to reach out and forge a connection, a bond that was quite impressive. He was privileged to have been able to travel a great deal, 2 trips across the country, to Alaska, the Canadian Rockies, Hawaii, Mexico. He had an ambition one day to visit the Galapagos, unfulfilled, but those goals kept him active, and dreaming, and moving. I'm told that he had a curious mix of qualities of stubbornness and strength and sensitivity as well. He faced all the challenges of life day by day, and he always tried his best to cope, to do whatever he could, and even more, to live a normal life. Beverly wrote that he was thrilled when his cousin Marilyn got an apartment that was handicap accessible, so he could join in those family gatherings again. And then cousin Leslie followed suit and also had an accessible home. Beverly writes that he was a great friend, a good human being, caring, loving, and patient. His will to live was remarkable. He always tried to do something meaningful with his day. She also forwarded some reflections by Sarah, a young cousin, who was very grateful. Is Sarah here? No, she couldn't make it. But she's at college, that's right. So she was inspired by his interest in photography and later went on to appreciate the field of physics, which is, again, inspired by Stan. Mary writes that he faced adversity and persevered. He was an eternal optimist. He always looked to the positive. A glass half full person. And he never dwelled on himself. He was selfless. He would have appreciated that you drove through the snow today because he loved to drive despite any impediment to weather. At this time, I'd like to ask if any of you would like to share a memory or celebrate one of his wonderful qualities as we reflect on this great man. Yes. Why don't you turn and face, maybe turn and face everyone. If you want to just turn around, they want to hear you.
I just want to say that Stanley volunteered for years with me at the Museum of Science, and he was an a board. He came with an aide, and he would do an electrical circuit, and it was wonderful for all of us who were at the museum at the time. And he did that as long as he could. He was loved by us all there.
Created that. So that solar energy board. Amazing.
Yeah. Gotta turn around again.
She's got tools.
Dan was always great to cook for because he would come over to my house because I love to cook and entertain, right, guys? And Dan would always come over, and I love having him because he would sit down, he'd eat real fast, and then he'd ask for more. Then he told me like he was going to sue me for meals.
I have the privilege of take care of the stand, and I have a lot of nice memories. But one in special, it was snowing, and he had something to do, and he wanted to go. And I was, Stan, it's snowing, it's a storm. No, 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 we are going out. And I said, okay, God. I clean the driveway, I clean everything. I bring him and say, okay, let's go. And he looked at the sky and said, oh my God, it's a storm. No, I'm going to stay. Yeah. and this is one of the yes, but it was an honor to take care of him.
I guess anytime we would go and visit Stan in a hospital, at home, anything like that, not so much a specific memory, but no matter what, no matter how ill he was feeling at any time, always thinking about everybody else, how we're doing, how my daughter's doing, my husband, my sister, her kids,
I was just going to say the same
everybody.
thing. Exactly the same.
Like just
Everyone,
always
yeah.
thinking about everybody else, no matter what he might have been dealing with at the time. Just very special.
A very remarkable man. He really was. We'll all miss him. I want to say that he's a role model human being because you're absolutely right, Leslie. He just never complained, and he fought this disease for so long. And just smiled all the time. So I hope he's at peace now because it was really hard for us to watch. And yet I kept saying we would go and see him. How he's so brave. Just incredible.
I was remembering this morning how Stan was never one to want medical things to happen to him. And I remember the first time he had a terrible fever, and I took him to the doctor, and he was terribly afraid of needles. And he went in to see the doctor, and then I heard the doctor screaming my name. And the doctor said to me, I didn't touch him. I didn't even open the needle. I was just going to open the needle. And he fainted. And I just think about how over the years, I mean, he had all kinds of procedures, anything that he thought would help him. It didn't matter, no matter how horrible it was or how difficult it was. He wanted it if it would help him. So he really evolved in the medical.
Beverly, I think it goes without saying, and yet must be said, that you would model of devotion, as I can understand, and that it really, you deserve so much credit for allowing him to lead such a meaningful life and helping him and maintaining his independence and dignity in the face of this terrible illness.
She is one in a million. She and Stan were a wonderful couple.
I'm just so are you. I'm trying to get his optimism into me because he was the glass half full and I was always the glass half empty. He was always telling me to stop worrying, it would be okay. So I have to keep saying
I hope you'll allow me to read the poem that I found that kind of continues with this metaphor of life. Not long, but I think it's meaningful. Pluck softly on the strings of time, and know no grief, for green and supple was and is the fallen leaf, and fragrant still within the soft caress of happiness. No sorrow in the triumph of the brave, or mourning in the night of tears. Be strong with him. Remember that he gave to us the sunlight of his years. Treasure the golden hours. Make the light he bravely lit a joyous shrine. Drink deeply from the cup for sake of him, from life's still sparkling wine. El Malay Rachamim, Shochen Vamramim, Hamse Menucha Nakanat Hachat Kanfei Hashatina, Im Kadoshi Mutuharim, Kazor Harakia, Maziri, Et Nishmat, Yudi Ben Ted, Shalach Lolamo, Bal Rachamim Yasirehu, the Setter Kanapav Olamim, Yisor Besura Chaim Et Nishmato, Adonai Unachato, Benuach Bashalom Amishkavo, Benomar Amen.
Amen.
Compassionate God, eternal spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Stan who has entered eternity, O God of mercy. Let him find refuge in your eternal presence, and let his soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is his inheritance. May he rest in peace. And we say,
Amen.
Adonai natan v'Adonai lakach, Yishem Adonai mevurach. God gave, God has taken away. Blessed be the name of God. Baruch atah Adonai noteh b'tocheinu chayei olam. We praise you, O God, who plants eternal life within us. Al mikomo yavova shalom. Stan comes now to his eternal home in peace. Early or late, all must answer the summons to return to the source of being. For we lose our hold on life when our time has come, as the leaf falls from the bough when its day is done. The deeds of the righteous enrich us all, as the fallen leaf enriches the soil beneath. The dust returns to the earth, the spirit lives on. Like the stars by day, our beloved dead are not seen by mortal eyes, yet we know they shine on forever. Theirs is eternal peace. Let us be thankful for a companionship that continues in a love stronger than death. As we sanctify God's name, we honor Stan's memory. Now we recite the traditional words of the Kaddish. Here's a copy. And this Aramaic prayer does not speak of death, but rather praises God as we give thanks for the most precious gift, that of life. Yitzkadal, Yitzkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Yalma, Yivra, Kirute, Yamlit, Mahte, V'chayecho, V'yomecho, V'chaye, V'chol Beit Yisrael, V'galav, V'zman Kariv, V'imru,
Amen.
Yehi
Shemei
Shemei
Rabba
Rabba
Mevorach
Leolam
Leolam
Shemei
Olam
Amaya
Olam.
Yitbarach Yishtabach Yitpa'ar Yitomam Yitnaseh Yitadar Yitaleh Yitalal Shemei Dekudusha
Richu.
Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushtafata V'Nechemata Damiran Yalma V'Imru
Amen.
Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chayim Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael V'Imru. Amen.
Amen.
Oseh Shalom V'Imroma. Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael V'Imru. Amen.
Amen.
God grant peace and healing to all of you who mourn. Indeed, for healing to all our world. Lech Tishivachach Adonai, go your way, stand, for God has called you. Lech Adonai Ye'emach, go your way, and may God be with you. Valach lefanecha tzidkecha, kavod Adonai yasvecha. May your righteousness go before you, and the glory of God receive. In Jewish tradition, is considered the greatest mitzvah and kindness to accompany a person to his final resting place and actively participate in the burial. You're invited, if you wish, to place a bit of earth. You can use a shovel or your hand just to place a few grains of earth here symbolically to participate in this mitzvah. That's okay, fine. Oh, sure. This concludes our ceremony. May God console you with all who mourn in Zion and Jerusalem.
Thank you again, everybody, for attending this online services. Thank you for entrusting us with Stanley's care, and thank you for being here. God bless, and take very good care of each other. All right, take care.